afternoon. Today's subject of history is about priorities in common and community lifestyle, and above all with davening. When someone lives in times of trouble, it's very common to complain to Akadosh Baruch Hu and complain about your luck. I think that there is not a few good men that haven't done this thing. Today's world has several issues with a lot of kinds of needs. Surely it does. Our prophets and sages have said in, in times of Mashiach, there will be a lot of foolishness. Let's go further for further details, because we cannot let it right back from us. There are people who hate us, but further, beyond that, have always been like this, people like this, but there are also men, women, children who love us. Baruch Hashem for this. Really, Baruch Hashem for this. We need to raise our hands and thank God, as we always do in the morning, every single day of our lives. Of course. In the depths of the human soul, there are too many existential crises. Doubts. What a pity for the man who raises shame and hatred on any human and any living being. That's Lashon Hara. Even if it's truth, we cannot put it that way. We are not the ones, the indicated people for that. Pasuk in the Tehillim, the Psalms, mention things like this. Tehillim does both exactly. That is for the Hasids and Tamil men, pious, and men of integrity. I've seen a video the last couple days. This concerns me a lot. When a person attacks another Jewish person in the subway in New York. Yes, she mentioned that the Jews sacrifice children, husband, child. What kind of thinkings, of thoughts has this person? Yes, blood libel is the right phrase for this. Blood libel. It's quite awful, this kind of comments when just showing ignorance and contempt. An attempt to harm a whole people. Blood libel. There is stories of human sacrifices of children for the Jewish Passover. For Pesach, Chas Shalom too. We got a provision to commit this kind of awful things. Human sacrifices is forbidden from the Holy Torah. One proof of this, when Avraham Avinu went to sacrifice Yitzchak, his son, his beloved son, and God talked to Abraham almost in the end. Hashem abhorred this kind of acts. Another proof that Hashem doesn't like this. In Jeremiah also mentioned the call to Molok in Hebrew. A bronze statue of a bull when they were in this position, and fathers and mothers give their children to Molok. They will burn. They were just babies. This is awful. This is awful. Yes, it is awful. When we're speaking about blood libel, it's necessary to mention that Jews were expelled from lands, countries, England for instance, in York, when they were massacred. The Baal Shem Tov got a story of this too, in Poland. He was davening in a shul, and after all that, he went to outside, and she saw children going behind the bear. They were in, into the square, and he saw how the bear go to the governor's house, and he started to do that kind of things in the ground. And after all, he find a child, that child behind, up, down, down, round. And the Vashanti said, "You see that? Protest!" Because Jews were blamed for this for too many reasons. For too many years. This is just a proof of an incapacity, an ability for loving the one who's different. They're just showing their ignorance. War is difficult because war is with your Yetzirah, with people, with your bad inclination Yetzirah. Anyway, when you daven, there's a moment of tefillah, of war. Tefillah is praying, but what I mean with war, the Alter Rebbe said this: the moment of davening is a troubled moment, and it's a moment of the greatest battle. Yes, I will continue this kind of subjects. I don't like to mention them, but in times where this kind of issues, we need to make the but the things clear. Shalom. Good evening.